I've been major uber depressed the last like 2 days, like physically depressed as shit. Like, I don't want to do anything. I don't want to talk to anyone. I don't want to do anything at all. Like, all I've been doing is binge watching TV, and even that feels like not enough. There really are a few things I like more than following someone I think is really cool who no one else I know follows them, and then later seeing that more people I follow also follow them. Like, yes, I do like things before they're cool. I am a hipster bitch and I don't care. I feel really lucky that whatever my mom did, she did it right, because I don't have an addictive personality, and god damn it, that feels awesome. Dog. I think astrology, okay, I believe in astrology. I love astrology. I trust astrology. I also know that I am unstable at times. So I sometimes connect things that are not meant to be connected. I understand that when I ride the line between being intuitive and being paranoid, and I do ride that line. I'm riding that line currently, which is why I also know that in my language, I guess you would use, the veil is thin. Because, dog, there's so much happening. I believe in things like clairvoyancy and clairaudiency. I believe that the subconscious is able to predict things. I do believe that some people have a stronger ability to predict than others. I do believe that some people are able to be honed into it more like instinctually and naturally than other people, but I also believe that it's something that you can cultivate through intentional work and design. That being said, so much has been happening that I wish I probably should journal, because I probably could only journal it there, but I probably would be too overstimulated to even think about how to begin it, which is, I guess, why I make these. I'll think about it. There's just so much happening, and it all is happening around me, which is also how I know. I also have a schizotypical personality type, which is something that I believe in a different part of my brain. I also know that I'm autistic, which is something that I do believe with the full part of my brain. So it's a lot happening at the time. But basically, all of this just to say, I have this scar on my hand. It is a little, you barely can see it. It looks like a little triangle. It's a little triangle. I cut myself on a piece of glass from one of those McDonald's glass Coca-Cola cups. It broke on my parents' bed, and I didn't see that the glass had broken, and I put my hand down, and it like just slipped and cut me really quick, and it was very painless for the most part. I just kind of scared me because, blood. Healed. It's a beautiful silvery little scar. I think it's really cute, actually. I look down. On my other hand, on the same finger on the opposite side, is the same scar, but opposite. I don't know what it means, but for some reason my brain's like, it means something. And maybe it's just the awareness that means something. I think that's where I ride the line between, like, what's it called? Like, spiritually intuitive and like giving into like mental illness, basically, to say it not lightly. I do have to be careful where the things I believe coincide and what line they ride in me, because I can let it take control of a very unhealthy part of my mind, which is also why art is a good release, which is why I probably should also do more of that. I'm gonna go do that. I'm outside. I just threw away some trash. I'm walking up my stairs, walking past the flowers that are on my porch, and I'm realizing that it has been twice in the last 2 days that I have delivered a bug onto a bed of green and flowers. I found a house centipede in my bathtub, and I brought it downstairs and put it in these flowers. And then at work earlier, I found a stag beetle, and I put it in the little flower garden that we have at work. And again, I just feel like that means something. I was making that video outside, and it was perfectly quiet and perfectly nice outside. and it wasn't making any noise. And as soon as I walk inside and turn off the camera, it starts making noise. I don't know what these things mean. I'm really not doing good. I really am not feeling great. I feel like really bad, kind of actually, not like physically, but like kind of physically. Like my chest feels like there's a lock on it. And I feel like I can get this look off my face. And I feel like I'm constantly like running into a glass wall. I feel like my heart is always beating really fast. And I'm doom scrolling to numb the pain. And I'm like actually like kind of like, you know what I'm saying? I need to do some yoga. I need to finish the yoga video I was doing. That'll fix me. I can't get this look off my face. I don't like men. If there was any ever question about it, I might not be a lesbian. I like the label lesbian. I'm gonna keep the label lesbian. But at the very end of the day, I don't like cis men at all. Trans men are on thin fucking ice with me. Trans masks, trans femmes, femmes in general, butches, studs. Off topic. Someone I thought that I was safely maneuvering a very platonic relationship with, a man that I thought I was safely maneuvering a platonic relationship with, just said something that was very inappropriate to me. Said he would like to attach himself to my stomach like a remora, respectfully. And while I understand the respectfully was added to that, I can't help but be like, dude, why the fuck would you say that to me? And like, we were talking about like there's a photography account page thing that he sent me, and he was just like, this is really cute, pretty, I like the composition. And I was like, me too. And then he sent me a different video of like this woman in latex, and she was walking, and he said something, and I was just like, insane, like just like a basic back and forth. And then he just like, hey, if you ever find yourself wanting to date, I'd like to get to know you better. What? Like, I don't like to make, like, I don't want it to be like I'm making it a big deal. I'm not trying to make it like it's like, oh my god, like it's just like, I don't understand. I thought we were operating in a very strict, I thought there was an understanding that there was not going to be anything like that happening. And like my ex, I guess, person that I was seeing, person I am not seeing, person I'm currently working things out with, they don't know that this is a mutual friend of ours that we have both hung out with and we have both talked to. Oh, my life's getting messy. I want to say it's surprising that I met my first cokehead while living in Detroit, because I've lived in Florida, in an international college town. But still, it doesn't surprise me. This situation has done nothing but remind me that age really is a number. It does not measure maturity. It does not measure decency. It does not measure anything other than what the individual person has done with said time. You could be alive 20 years and do more with your life than someone has done in 60, and vice versa. I have good judgment, I have good discernment, and I make good choices around people. I cannot be held responsible for the fact that people are good liars, and that people purposely try to do things to manipulate narratives and gain access to good people because they're not good people, and they think that being around good people can supplement the lack of good in them. They think they can siphon it from everyone good around them, but eventually the nasty shit gets in the water. and then it poisons your entire forest. I am wanting to post on the internet a lot. I'm wanting to be on the internet a lot. Part of me feels like I should probably not be doing that. That feels like it's part of the Mercury retrograde. It's also part of my mental illness. More the latter than the former. But to combat that right now, I'm gonna go to bed. I just realized I've been depressed for like 2 weeks. That sucks. That fucking sucks. I do think I'm gonna start going more masculine with my presentation. Totally unrelated side note. I acknowledge that I may have done a fucked up thing by acting a little bit immaturely, but I feel like what I did not warrant the fact that I got banned from a tattoo shop, I lost my best friend, and I'm out $50. I don't feel like what I did warranted any of that. And the fact that I am still sitting here, like, trying to qualm with, like, if I felt like I did something wrong, I would acknowledge that and I would be apologizing. But I don't feel like I did anything wrong. I feel like what I did, I can acknowledge what I did was childish. Like, but do I feel like I need to, like, grovel on my hands and knees and give people, like, a proper apology over some shit like that? Like, no, I feel like we should be adults and you should offer me some understanding. The whole point is that they don't want to acknowledge that the fact that homeboy did what homeboy did, and based on the ways that he's been acting after we're friends and the things that I've seen after we stopped being friends, I know for a fact now that it was on purpose. And I know for a fact that everything that I thought I saw was real. And I was trying to be gaslit, and that's just pissing me the fuck off. I remember when I started this whole thing, and it's because I used to talk a lot on the internet and just kind of, like, word vomit about things, and I would just, like, put out these very, like, confident statements. And I think I just started feeling, like, really secondhand embarrassment after a certain amount of time had passed, because I was just like, oh dear, my opinions might change later, and someone might change their mind, and they might think that I'm stupid because, or, like, it was, like, this whole big, like, thought circle. So I stopped putting my opinions online, and I started doing, like, this. And I do prefer doing this because I do get to speak my mind in the way that I want. And there's not an audience to critique it so hard that I start feeling self-conscious about it. And I think the thing I was going to say on TikTok just now was that there is a necessary dichotomy to being in general, like, just to being. Like, you need dancers, you need DJs, you need creators, you need consumers, you need push and pull, you know, whatever the case may be. And that also goes with, like, communication, because some people are meant to just have a fascination with communicating well and with creating a, not frictionless, but a very smooth running dynamic and level of conversation that is able to be had with the people around them. And there are some people who do not care to figure out how to communicate, but are easily coaxed into being a better person and coaxed into being of better communication styles by watching and by engaging in healthy communication long enough. You know what I'm saying? Like you can talk them into being better because you care enough to come at them in a way that makes them feel comfortable enough to get to the root of where they're at, so they can meet you somewhere that you're at. And it's not necessary for everybody, because some people don't deserve that shit, at least not in the moment, because some people are so far away from where you're at that it would be kind of impossible to try and have that conversation anyway. And I think that's what this Mercury retrograde is teaching me. It's that you can't make people meet you where you're at, but you absolutely can understand the stark differences in those places in the moment. And I think that's nice, because I have just been noticing a stark place in where I'm different with people. That whole thing that happened with Takeup, as sad as it is, I can't do anything about it, and I have really no want to, but I also feel that way about the other bad thing that has also happened with, you know, people who don't have nicknames that I can use to hide their anonymity. There's nothing more I love than building friendships. There's nothing more I love than genuinely being a part of authentic connection. I don't know what it is, but there's something that feels really wrong about wearing flip-flops in the dark. Like at nighttime, it just feels wrong. Like, why the fuck am I wearing flip-flops? It's nighttime. Flip-flops belong in the day. I don't know. I'm feeling really depressed this month. Like, I just want to give up, kind of. Thinking about having to go into work next week is, like, legitimately stressing me out. And I'm thinking about how I have to, like, go and do this for the rest of my life, and that's genuinely stressing me out. I just want to go back to bed, dog. I really hope this depression shit lifts, because I really don't want to kill myself, you know what I'm saying? I really don't feel like I'm utilizing the full potential of my mind. I feel like my mind has so much more in it than I am letting out. And I would like to tap into that, please. I love that everything means something to me. It doesn't mean that it actually does, but it does to me. I think being Mexican inherently gives you a sense of childlike innocence that a lot of other people don't have. I think I also see this commonly in, like, Arab households, which they do say that people who are Arab are also Mexican because we share a lot of, like, culturally similar things, so that makes sense. But I think about how Mexican elders, especially men, have this kind of, like, childlike innocence about them because they're forced to grow up, but we as a people have never really lost our sense of wonder despite how dark and dreary our past has been. And I think that's really nice. And that makes me think about all this is I saw this painting that someone did of this guy dressed up in all latex, and he's laying on a bed, and the bed has like a headboard, but it's laying on the ground, and there's like a fan, and the walls are like this like peachy pink color, and it's like a very sweet, very like innocent and soft scene. And someone was like, this is how age players feel. And someone was just like, this is just a normal Mexican household. This is just a normal Mexican bedroom. Why are you making it weird? And it's like, I don't think they're making it weird. I think that this is itself is a commentary on the fact that Mexicans do often age regress. And people who have a history like Mexicans, they do tend to have this way that they go back to being young as a means to stay happy. So like candy, toys, games, those kinds of things, banter back and forth. It all seems very childlike and very innocent. And I'll have to do some more like academic research on this fact, because I do feel like there is something that stems on why we're like that. But I just wanted to comment on the fact that I think it's very, very cute. Acceptance will take you places that life wouldn't dare make you go without a gun. Amen. Amen. One of my favorite things that I feel like is something I can't really talk about because it kind of low-key feels like bragging is the fact that I've always been able to tell when my period starts. I've never had an accident. I've never bled on my clothes. I've never bled on my sheets. Like, since my period has started, I have always caught it. I've just always caught it. This morning, I literally woke up and was doing some stretches and was just like, I need to go to the bathroom. And I went, and boom, started as soon as I went to the bathroom. I don't know what that means. I think it's because I'm a Cancer stellium. The moon will do that. I don't even know what to think about this month. It has been a crazy month. It has been a weird month. It has felt insane. I feel insane, kind of. I also feel more grown than I ever have. I feel so much like an adult. When I look in the mirror, I'm like, holy shit, I'm grown. I'm like looking at myself from the eyes of someone who used to just stare at themselves in the mirror and be like, what the fuck am I looking at right now? I was just so unsure, and now I look at myself and there is this beaming light of certainty that comes from every pore of my body, and it's weird to see because I did that. But younger me is like, we did that? And I'm like, yeah, we did that. And it's fucking awesome and scary. But younger me prepared me for all of this shit. And I think that's so cool to be able to just know where all of my life has led me, and to know that I am safe in the world that I exist in because it is meant for me. And I'm thinking all this shit on my period. I say that's a good omen. I was doing yoga today in the living room because there's a TV in there and it's bigger, and my brother was joining me, and at the very last bit of it, I'm laying down and I'm looking out the window, and I swear to God, I start tripping the way that these clouds are moving. And it was just in that moment where I'm like, wow, presence really does bring you such an acute awareness of the beauty around you. I've been very clear-minded and without a lot of distraction recently, and it was just so wild to just like sit in that moment and be like, damn, that's crazy what I'm watching. The patterns and the ways that everything was going, it felt like I was like tripping, and it was beautiful. And I'm very blessed that today is the day that it is. I'm on my period. It's the best period I've had in like a year. I'm about to eat some food, and it's my day off. Work.